Hey everyone, today I'll be covering one of the most frequently asked questions in my Twitch chat, which is about items. More specifically, I'll be making an item tier list. It has come to my attention that after watching other item guides and other item tier lists, many people have no idea what they are talking about. If you don't know who I am, my in-game name is TTV Averse, and I recently just won the Trove tournament with my team. I am currently a high-ranking player on the leaderboards, and I have a lot of insight into the game. I highly recommend hearing my reasoning for the placements of each item and not just taking this tier list at face value. It will help you better understand what to run on any Pokemon you play. Now, for the sake of clarity in this video, I will be assuming every item I talk about is level 20, as that is what most players should/will have. It's important to note that a lot of items have hidden things that they do not tell you, which is crucial to learn. But don't worry, I will be going over everything. By the way, everything on this tier list is ordered from left to right in terms of strength. Without further ado, let's start off with the most broken item in the item tier list. Buddy Barrier. Stats of this item is 400 HP. The ability is when the Pokemon uses its Unite move, that Pokemon and the nearby ally Pokemon with the lowest HP are each granted a shield equal to 40% of their max HP. Buddy Barrier is the most broken item in the game currently and is a must-have for any new or experienced player in the game. Not only is the base stat of HP very high, but the ability has insane value throughout the game. For that reason, it's in its own tier, which is SS. Muscle Band. Stat is 5% attack speed and 10 attack. The ability is when basic attacks hit, the damage is increased by 3% of the opponent's missing HP. Muscle Band is the premier auto attack item in the game and is the only item which offers attack speed. Because of its missing HP percent damage in the ability, it makes this item super strong for any Pokemon that can use it. Focus Band. Stats are 20 defense and 20 SP defense. The ability is when the Pokemon drops to low HP, each second for 3 seconds it recovers 14% of the HP it had lost. Focus Band is an essential item to have throughout the game. It basically feels like you have a second life when you drop to low HP. It's important to note that Focus Band has an 80-second cooldown at level 20, so be wary of that after it gets activated. Despite the long cooldown, this item is still a must-have for almost all Pokemon in the game. Score Shield. Stat is 300 HP. The ability is while the Pokemon is attempting to score a goal, it is granted a shield equal to 10% of its max HP, and its goals cannot be interrupted while it is shielded. Score Shield can be run on all tanks and all all-arounder Pokemon. Lucario, Snorlax, and Crustle are some of the main characters that come to mind when I think about this item. It is extremely strong for getting in quick goals for EXP advantage and securing 50-point scores late into the game. It's an essential item on the tank/all-arounder characters in the game. Wise Glasses. The stat is 29 SP attack, and the ability is increases SP attack by 7%. There's honestly not a whole lot to say about Wise Glasses. It's just a solid choice for any character that isn't primarily auto attack based and mainly does SP attack damage. Good examples of characters that would fall into that category are Cramorant and Gardevoir. Energy Amplifier. The stats are 4% energy acceleration and negative 3% wait time. The ability is after the Pokemon uses its Unite move, the damage the Pokemon deals is increased by 21% for a short time. Energy Amplifier is an item I have not used a whole lot. I personally am not sure how good this item actually is, but since the best Cramorant NA runs this item, it's fair to say it's at least A tier. Also, it's important to note that the 21% damage increase on Energy Amplifier lasts 4 seconds after, and although it doesn't explicitly state it, this item actually increases your Unite move's damage. Next item is EXP Share. The stat is 160 HP and 100 movement speed. The ability is while the Pokemon has the fewest EXP points on its team, it gains 4 EXP points per second. In addition, when a nearby teammate defeats a wild Pokemon, that teammate gains slightly more EXP points. EXP Share recently got changed again, so I'm not sure how good this item actually is, but like Energy Amplifier, since top teams are running this item on their Eldegosses, it is safe to assume this item is at least A tier. Scope Lens. The stats are 4% crit rate and 8% crit damage. The ability increases the damage of basic attack critical hits. The higher the Pokemon's attack, the more damage it increases, 75% of your attack. Scope Lens is a good item on any Pokemon that likes to abuse big crits or huge burst damage, like Zorora or Absol. This item might replace Focus Band for them, but it's probably a personal preference on which one you want to run. But it's a good choice for for Pokemon that can use it at the end of the day. Next item is Assault Vest. Stats are 160 HP and 28 SP defense. The ability is when the Pokemon is not in combat, they are granted a shield that nullifies SP attack damage equal to 15% of their max HP. Assault Vest is an item that is already good, but it would be even better if Draft Pick was in Pokemon Unite. It's more of a niche item because of this, because it's an insane pick on your tanks versus heavy SP attack compositions. Since you do not know who is on the enemy team, this item stays in A tier for being a solid choice for tankier Pokemon. Now, the next three items are scoring items. I'm going to go over the stats for all three of these items and then overview them as a whole after. The first one is Eos Cookie. The stat is 160 HP. The ability is when the Pokemon scores a goal, its max HP is increased by 200. Next is SP Attack Specs. Stats are 16 SP Attack. The ability is when the Pokemon scores a goal, its SP Attack is increased by 16. The next one is Attack Weight. Its stat is 12 Attack. The ability is when the Pokemon scores a goal, its attack is increased by 12. Now, it's important to keep in mind that these items are not infinite scaling. They are capped at 6 for the increasing of their stats. All of these items seem pretty good on paper, but the main issue on why they are suboptimal the main issue on why they are suboptimal is because they are not reliable. In very intense high-level games, it's not realistic to be scoring 6 times before Zapdos. I can see some characters maybe being able to abuse it with a Score Shield Eos Cookie combo, but I believe there are some better options, which is why these three scoring items reside in the B tier. The next item is Shell Bell. The stat is 16 SP attack and 3% move cooldown. The ability is when the Pokemon hits with a move, it recovers a minimum of 75 HP. The higher the Pokemon's SP attack, the more HP it recovers. Two things right off the bat to mention about Shell Bell. The cooldown for the heal is 10 seconds, and the heal itself is not that big. The game doesn't tell you these things, and after finding out, you will realize how bad this item actually is. It can be good on Pokemon that have multi-hit abilities because the healing will apply on every tick of damage, but it is still a suboptimal choice. Next item is Rocky Helmet. Stat is 180 HP and 28 defense. The ability is when the Pokemon receives a certain amount of damage. Damage is dealt to nearby opposing Pokemon equal to 5% of that Pokemon's max HP. Rocky Helmet recently got a buff to where it no longer has an out of combat requirement, and it got changed from a 10-second cooldown to a 2-second cooldown. Even with this buff in mind, it's still good, it still requires you to take 10% of damage in a single hit to proc, and the item is just straight up not as good as items in the game. I would not recommend taking this item. Now, for the last two items, the out of combat items. Pokemon Unite defines out of combat as 8 seconds of not getting hit or hitting another Pokemon/wild Pokemon. Keep that in mind when I go over these next two items. First is Floatstone. Stat is 16 attack and 80 movement speed. Ability is increases movement speed by 20% when the Pokemon is not in combat. Floatstone is the noob trap item of the game. Even I fell for it when I first started out. Considering out of combat is 8 seconds, this item is just straight up horrible. On top of that, the in-combat movement speed is an underwhelming 3% gain. Stats are lackluster, and the ability on the item is pretty bad. Do not touch this item, it's pretty much a trap. The next item is Leftovers. Stat is 160 HP and 6 HP recovery. The ability is when the Pokemon is not in combat, it recovers 2% of its max HP every second. Leftovers is by far the worst item in the game. Coming in with some of the worst baseline stats and the worst ability in the entire game, it is pretty much a never level this item angle. Since out of combat works the way it does, you are losing so much value by running any out of combat item. There are a lot better choices higher up in the tier list. That is all the held items in the game. A general rule of thumb, if you want to know which item is best on which character, it goes something like this. All-arounders take Buddy Barrier plus Focus Band plus Score Shield. Attackers take Buddy Barrier plus Focus Band +1. That +1 can be Wise Glasses or Muscle Band, depending if the Pokemon is primarily Auto Attack or SP Attack based. Supporters are Buddy Barrier plus Focus Band +1, typically Score Shield, but that can vary depending on the type of supporter. Speedsters are Buddy Barrier +2. Speedsters can run a whole lot of stuff. This is up to you. But if you want to be safe, you can do Buddy Barrier plus Focus Band +1. Typically, Wise Glasses or Muscle Band, depending if the Pokemon is primarily Auto Attack or SP Attack based. Now, these are not set in stone. It's just some general guidelines um, for like the types of characters. Some characters are exceptions to this rule, but pretty much most you can follow that and you'll be okay. Sorry if this video was a little scuffed. I'm trying to do this in one take and I've had to restart a couple of times. But I really hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys think about the detailed guides like this in the comments below. If you have any further questions that I somehow did not answer here, you are more than welcome to come by my Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/Averse and I would be happy to help. As always, make sure to like the video if you liked it and subscribe. Thanks for watching.